Up, What Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today is May 29, 2016, and it is my 27th birthday. And because it's my 27th birthday, I figured I would do something really special, and this author has been waiting for a long time for this hashtag Book Nerdigan discussion to come up, and I figured he would, for this hashtag Book Nerdigan discussion, he's not only going to be part of the hashtag Angel Readathon, he's going to get another special hashtag, and it's going to be for the next 7 Book Nerdigan discussions, he's going to get a hashtag 27B Day Extravaganza. And that, it's going to start off with this one, which is The Fallen by Thomas E Sniegoski. If you have not read The Fallen by Thomas E Sniegoski, where the commie Narcissists have you been? Go read this book. It is a really good, read the series in general, because in my Ultimate Book Nerdigan rant, which is, we're getting close to it. We have to, after this one, got one more series, or I should say one more author, then we're going to be there. So yeah, we're getting close. So yeah, I'm going to be citing this book a lot, because what the Immortal series by Scott Speer should have been, a lot of shit that should have been in that series, this is from this series. It really is. Honestly, really is. So yeah, here's the beautiful cover of The Fallen. It's with Aaron, with his wings. I love him. I love Aaron. He is so pretty. But anyway, let me explain how I do these Book Nerdigan discussions, because I know Tom is watching, and Tom, I'm really sorry it took so long, but thank you so much for following me on Twitter. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you being patient, and that's why I'm doing this on my birthday. So there you go. And you're getting another hashtag, so. So let's get to it. So in the prologue, it's in Lebanon, Tennessee, 1995, we see Virgil killing a Nephilim, and his name was Eric. And he says this to Eric, and he says, "The sound of you, it offends me, abomination. I command you to be silent." And there are a few words in this tongue that defines the likes of you better. You are a bite upon his favored word, an aberrance in the eyes of God. But you are not the one that incites me so. However, that does not change the reality that you must be smited. What was it the monkey apostle Matthew scribbled about us in one of his silly little books? "The Son of Man shall send them forth, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and those who do evil, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire," or something to that effect. And then Virgil proceeded to killing Eric with the glory sword. And then we get into the book, and while Aaron is at school and he overhears his crush, oh my gosh, Vilma talking to her friends in Portuguese, and after he has a major migraine, he can understand what they're saying, and he was speaking to her in Portuguese. And this is something really unusual, because Nephilim usually are usually are able to understand each other, usually are able to understand other languages right away. This is nothing new. But anyway, and at the end of the night, by the end of the night, Aaron was able to understand what Gabriel, his dog, was saying, and he says, "Want to play ball now?" I love Gabriel in this series. He's so adorable, but I'm a dog person anyway. And then and then Aaron goes to his old psychiatrist's office, / old therapist's office, Dr. Jonas, and he says, and Aaron's able to understand and speak Latin and Spanish. Anyway, and then they meet, like outside the office, they meet old man Ezekiel / Zeke, and he says in an ancient dialect, which is, I think, like angel speak. But anyway, he says, "Can you understand the tongue of the messenger boy? You answer my question as you speak, and what you are becoming is obvious to me. Nephilim, you are Nephilim." And something that's different in this series compared to, like, say, oh my god, say the Embrace series or the Sweet Evil series, is that they really become of age, like at age 17, 16-ish. This series, and actually, they become, in Sweet Evil, it's a little younger because they get trained. But in the Embrace series, it's definitely 17. they start training, but then they embrace their angelic powers at 17. So yeah, I wanted to mention that. So now we get to talk about the Hebrew stuff, because I love the Hebrew stuff, because I'm a Jew. Yes, I'm a Jew. You can put anti-Semitic comments if you want, but they will be blocked. So deal with it. So now we get to the definition of a Nephilim. So the biblical term Nephilim, which in Hebrew means the fallen ones, or those who fell, refers to an offspring of angels and mortal women mentioned in Genesis 6:1-4. A fuller account is preserved in the apocryphal book of Enosh. Remember Book of Enosh. This book is going to come up again, which recounts how a group of angels left heaven to mate with women and taught humanity such heinous skills such as the art of war. And then in a book called the Lost Book of Eden, Aaron learned more about the Book of Enosh. It was an apocryphal book of the Old Testament written in Hebrew about a century before the birth of Christ. The original version was lost near the end of the 4th century, and only fragments remained until Bruce the Traveler brought back a copy from Abyssinia in 1773, probably made from a version known to the early Greek fathers. And what followed were some passages from the ancient text of Enosh, and what Aaron summed up all that he learned so far were the angels who consented to fall from heaven, that they might have intercourse with the daughters of earth. For in those days the sons of men having multiplied, and there were born to their daughters of great beauty. And when the angels or sons of heaven beheld them, they were filled with desire. Wherefore they said to one another, "Come, let us choose wives from among the race of man, and let us beget children." And then we meet Samuel Chia, who is an angel in disguise, and he works in Hong Kong and runs a French restaurant, clubs. And Sam freaks out about Virgil, who is the leader of the heavenly hosts. Powers, which means the powers are near. And the angel's named Sam Chia. I love how the play on the name. I thought that was cool. And Sam says this: "I left because I did not want to choose sides." Wow. So he's kind of like how, he's kind of like how Daniel was in the Fallen series by Lauren Kate series, where he just didn't want to choose sides. But anyway, I left because I did not want to choose sides. I loved the morning star as I loved all my brethren, but to question the Almighty, I could think of no other solution but to flee. And then Virgil says, "A coward by your own admission. If only the others could be so honest. Have you not been awaiting me since your fall? A second, an hour, a millennium, increments of time that mean nothing to the powers? You have sinned against the All-Father, and time does not change that fact. Suffered, have you? Your suffering hasn't even begun. There is no mercy for what you have done, Simchia. Your time has come, as it will come for all the others who have fallen from grace." And you gotta think, because if you've read Fallen by Lauren Kate, especially Rapture, this is kind of like the powers are kind of like the scale. I'm just saying, they are kind of like the scale. And then Samchia of the heavenly host fell out the window, dreaming of flying. He doesn't have his wings anymore. Keep in mind, he doesn't have his wings. As I was reading this book, this book, I was like thinking maybe I wouldn't want to understand dog, because like Gabriel was annoying as shit for a while. Because I was like, God, I was like thinking, Gabriel, just shut up, seriously. But like later on in the series, you're like, yeah, Gabriel's chill. Gabriel's freaking chill. But Gabriel is a different kind of dog. But yeah, we'll get to that a little later. And then Zeke says this: "It's in the air, boy. I can smell it. I could smell that you were changing and just assumed that you were probably having some problems with it. Doesn't matter anymore what language somebody is talking. You'll be able to understand and speak it as if it were your native tongue. It's one of the perks. The language doesn't even have to be human. Wait until you hear what a tree sloth has to say." Oh, God. Oh, man. I want to know what you nerdigans think what a tree sloth has to say. Tom, I want to know what you think what a tree sloth has to say. They have a unique way of looking at things. Well, you better get used to it, because it's what you are in Nephilim. It's what you are. You don't have a choice. So, okay, the Nephilim are the children of angels and mortal women. Not too common, really. The mothers have a difficult time bringing the babies to term, never mind surviving the delivery. And that's pretty consistent with, Kami and Arceus, what is it? That's pretty consistent with the Sweet Evil series. because the woman usually doesn't survive. In the Sweet Evil series, the women never survived the childbirth. There we go. Let's see. But every once in a while, a Nephilim child survives, and there's something all right, part heavenly host, part human, a blending of the Almighty's most impressive creations. Nephilim usually have a normal childhood, but once they reach a certain level of maturity, the angelic nature starts to assert itself. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's when problems begin, almost as if the two halves no longer get along, and seems to happen around 18 or 19. Depends on the Angel series you're reading. Because like in the Sweet Evil, in the Sweet Evil series, it seemed to have, like, just go watch the Sweet Evil book nerding discussion videos or read the books, because you'll understand once you do that. Let's see. Did you know your father? That's where you're wrong, Aaron. It does matter. And that's true, because based on, and that's true especially in the case of the Embrace series and the Sweet Evil series, because depending on who your angelic parent is, determines the powers you get. And there's a choir of angels called the Powers. They are the oldest of the angels, the first created by God. The Powers are kind of like a secret police, like God's stormtroopers. Yeah, they're kind of like the Scale. It was their job to destroy what they believe is offensive to the Creator. Yep, just like the Scale, but less paperwork, more destroying. Let's see. The Powers decided long ago that Nephilim are offensive. In the beginning, it was a slaughter. Most of the ones killed were still children. They didn't even know why they had to die. It's still going on today, Aaron. Nephilim are still being born, and when they begin to show their true nature, the Powers find them and kill them. They have no mercy. Yeah, they follow the way of the pajamas. I'm sorry, I had to do that Renegade for Life joke. Don't sleepy load. In their eyes, you're a freak of nature, something that should have never been allowed to happen. Your abilities are blossoming. I know it sounds insane, but you've got to understand this has been going on for thousands of years. And I'm not a Nephilim. I'm a fallen angel, a Gregory. Yay, we got another Gregory! Yee! I want to say this is the third series we have seen a Gregory. The first one was in the Embrace series. The second one was the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. And the third one is this one. Yay! I like it when we see multiple Gregories. Okay, let's see. If you want to be specific, his wings barely had any feathers and a vestigial appendage, aka stumps. It's all that's left of my wings. It's so sad. Let's see. And Zeke had Aaron merge with his angelic nature to heal Gabriel, but it also changed him. And think of it this way. If you nerdigans remember in the Unearthly series, it was kind of like when Clara unleashed her glory to save Tucker, and he became, I'm sorry I'm spoiling it for you, but deal with it. And he became the Messiah. And Camille, then we meet Camille. I love Camille. Camille is one of the coolest characters in the series. And then the Powers used trackers and human hounds. And the dreams were usually first, the collective memories of an entire race from thousands of years attempting to assert themselves. That alone was enough to drive some of them mad, never mind the changes that were still to come. And Camille had recalled the moment that had altered his path, if it had happened only moments before. This is extremely important. It's gonna come up again in this series. And I love when authors do that. And they had descended from the heavens on the ancient city of Urkish. Let's see. The overpowering desire to eradicate evil spurring them on. It was rumored that the city was a haven for the unclean, a place where those who offended God could thrive in secret. The Powers were on a holy mission, and all those who stood against them fell before their righteousness. In a hovel made of mud and straw, they found him, an old man, a seer, one of his eyes covered by milky caul. He was surrounded by clay tablets upon which something had been written, a prophecy. It was Camille's former captain, Virgil, who first read the seer's scrawls. His words foretold of the melding of human and angel, and how they that joining would sire an offspring more than human, more than angel, who would be the key to reuniting those who had fallen from heaven with their most holy Father. And blasphemy! Virgil said had screamed as he shattered the tablets beneath his heel. And on that day, all trace of Urkesh was wiped from the planet and from history. And then this is what Zeke said on what Aaron while he healing Gabriel. He said, God's menagerie, not animal thing. Let's try not to be disrespectful. Most people see it as some kind of animal, a dove or a lion, all of his creations, and made you complete. You're a Nephilim, Aaron, through and through. Sorry to break it to you, but that's what you are. And this is what Zeke says about being a Gregory, because we don't hear that much about in the past series that we've I've done for the hashtag Angel Readathon. We don't know too much about the Gregory. So anyway, our assignment came directly from the big guy upstairs, and I don't mean Crazy Alan, room 520. I love Zeke. He's so funny. God himself told us what to do. Our job was a simple one, really. It's amazing how badly we screwed it all up. It was our job to keep an eye on mankind. Yep, Greg, we got the Watchers. We got the Watchers. Another one with the Watchers. Let's see. It was our job to keep an eye on mankind. They were still very young when we came here and in need of our guidance. We were to be their shepherds. We became a little too enamored with the locals, lost that professional distance. We began to teach them things that the Lord felt they didn't need to know. How to make weapons, astrology, how to read the weather. One of us sick bastards even taught the women about makeup. And they taught us things as well, how to drink, smoke, and have sex. Oh man, this is very similar to Pemron and the End of Days. Oh, yes it is. If you remember Pemron and the End of Days, Rafi had to make sure, Rafi protected the descendants of the Watchers' wives, or the Nephilim. The Nephilim aren't monsters, people. They just aren't. Only one series had Nephilim that were monsters. We went native. We began to live like humans, act like humans. Some of us even took wives. Yep, the Gregory are to blame for that whole mess, but not entirely. We weren't the only angels to find the human ladies attractive. There were others, deserters from the Great War in heaven. They came to Earth to hide. And this is what he says on the war. It was real, all right. The Gregory weren't there for it, but from what I hear, it was pretty awful. The Morning Star really blew it. Lucifer didn't know how good he had it. He was once... Wait a minute. Here we go. He had it. Was once the right hand of God and then got greedy. He had those who followed his lead screwed up even bigger than we did. We were banished to earth, never to see heaven again. We wanted to be human so badly we could live among them forever. It was what we wanted, really, except they took our wings, the powers. They cut off our wings and murdered our children. They're ruthless, Aaron. They can sense when a Nephilim is reaching maturity, sometimes before. They hunt it down and kill it before it can gain full use of its birthright. That's why I did it. That's why I did what I did to give you a fighting chance. And why Aaron? Of all the Nephilim, why Aaron? And this is what Zeke says. I really don't know. Something told me you're special. So now, I like that we go to Chernobyl. Of all places, Chernobyl. If you don't know why Chernobyl is weird, go freaking look it up. Bing and Google are your friend. Well, I'm Team Bing, but that's a whole different thing. And the vast chamber of the reactor room of Chernobyl is turned into a place of worship, a makeshift church, and they worship the Nephilim. It's crazy. And Blythe says, welcome to our holy place. Does the belief in a prophecy that preaches that the reuniting of God with his fallen children really offend him, or does it simply offend you? Has Camille answered for his crimes? That is good. As long as he lives, there's a chance. Did you feel it, Virgil, just a few glorious hours ago? Did you feel it come into his own? Yes, you did, Virgil. Quit lying. Virgil is a fucking liar. He had been en route to Ukraine when he felt the psychic disturbance. Oh, shit. I lost my spot. Oh, mother frickin' A. Here it is. The angel had been tracking half-breeds for hundreds of thousands of years, and never had he felt an emergence so strong. And Blythe says this, there's a desperation in your tone, Virgil. You felt it as strongly as we, and you are afraid that the prophecy is coming to fruition. This place and poisoned land around it reminds us of what we were and what we have become. Once we were filled with his holy virtue on a mission to wipe away evil, but we were tainted by the violence and self-righteousness that said we were acting in his name. But there's another way, a way without death, a way that brings us the end of our exile and the beginning of our redemption. It won't end with us. That which has been foretold now walks among us. And then fucking Verchiel, like, this is what I mean by the scale. Verchiel just stabs Blythe with the glory sword, and then he says the Almighty and I, we do not need to converse. It freaking sounds familiar as hell. It's the scale, I'm telling you. It also sounds like, oh god, it sounds like Uriel in the Perrin in the Fall and the Perrin in the End of Days series. It totally does. And then Camille pays a visit to Dr. Jonas, and he says, I've come for the child. The child was here not long ago, a day perhaps. I mean the child no harm, but it's imperative that I find him. And of course, two of Verchiel's powers, one of them being Casil, who's one of the cruel operatives, and Hadriel shows up too. And the powers use glory to kill Dr. Jonas, which caused him to burn to death. That was just so fucked up. I mean, come on, guys. Powers, you're supposed to be angels. And this proves a point that it's not all good and evil. And I love that about this. That's why I love reading Angel series. Sorry, I'm getting thirsty here. I recorded hella Book Nerdigan videos today, so excuse me. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Camille then says, the essence about this Nephilim is strong, perhaps the strongest I have ever felt. And, hold on a second. And then Verchiel mentions something really interesting. He says this, what is it about the blind, the mentally challenged, that makes them superior servants? The no-impaired humans are driven to madness just by being in angel's presence. So I wonder, like, what do you mean by, Tom, I have to ask you, what do you mean by mentally impaired? Do you just mean, like, autistic? Or do you mean, like, any mental illness, like bipolar and ADHD, and God, what am I thinking? Or what friggin' A? Or anxiety disorder? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do you mean all those as well, or just like the extremely mentally challenged? I'm just curious. Yeah, I said that. So when Aaron sees the blind seer says, because the blind seer is, I'm telling you, the blind seer is really important. He says, it is you I see in the future. You I write of now. You have seen your destiny. Now you must fulfill it. And Gabriel had the same dream as Aaron. This is when Gabriel is starting to change. Because remember, Aaron healed Gabriel, and like he changed Gabriel. And the old man in the dream, he scared me too. That's what Gabriel says. And then Camille says this, call me messenger. I'm glad that I reached you first. I'm Camille, and I've come to protect you. Once it was my holy mission to eradicate the likes of you, but that was long ago. I've come to save, not destroy. If my suspicion's correct, you have very important destiny to fulfill, Aaron Corbett. You're different, Aaron. I could feel it coming off you in waves. And then Stevie, his younger foster brother, autistic brother, sensed the powers were coming, and he says, they come. And Gabriel destroyed a powers, Uriel's wrist. Yeah, he's that different. And he said, and about Aaron, I thought it was cute when he said beautiful. I thought that was cute. And then Verchiel says this, the Power's mission is to erase anything that would displease our Lord of Lords. And when our mission is finally complete, he shall give us this world and all who live upon it, and will know that I sit by his side and my word is law. Fucking A, Verchiel is delusional. I think he's just high on popo acid or something. But there is still much to be done. But beg all you like, Nephilim. It will do you no good. You shall be destroyed. All except the young one. I think I'll keep him, a hound perhaps. You have the eyes of a tracker, because his previous human tracker died of radiation poisoning in Chernobyl. Like, Verchiel is a freaking idiot. Like I guess he doesn't know or doesn't care. Probably the latter, that humans can't handle radiation like angels can. Apparently angels can survive radiation poisoning. Go figure. Anyway. And you have the eyes of a tracker. I told you. I wish the little one no harm. There is a great power growing within this Nephilim. The parents, on the other hand, I have little use for them. And since they have been infected by your presence, Verchiel killed them with the glory sword. That was so fucked up because Aaron was in foster care, and these were his favorite foster parents. I felt so bad. And they burn away their hair, skin, and muscle within seconds. Oh my god, that was so sad. And finally, Camille and Zeke with the Louis. I love that Zeke came in with a Louisville Slugger with multiple 6-inch nails pounded into it. I was like thinking, that is such a ghetto mace. It totally is. And then Gabriel says this, it wants to come out, Aaron. It's inside you and wants to get out. What's inside of you is inside of me. I can sense your struggle, but you can't keep it locked up. Gotta set it free before it's too late. And then Verchiel hurt Zeke. I was like, no! And then Aaron went Super Saiyan. He did, which meant which means the black marks that look like tribal tattoos, and he got his black wings and his glory swords, and yes, the Neph have wings here. I love that the Nephilim have wings here. I think this is the only series, besides the Immortal City series, that Nephilim have wings, and I'm happy. I love that Nephilim have wings. Well, the cover, it had wings. And I said this to you on Twitter. Tom, you remember? I hope you remember this. Let's see. So Camille saves Zeke, and the first time when Camille gets then Camille gets stabbed, and Verchiel materialized the broadsword, bringer of sorrow, and it had not been used since his battle against the Morning Star. And he called down upon the world of God's man a storm to wash away the malignant blight of the prophecy. Like, at first I thought Verchiel was Frieza, but like the more and more I think about it, I feel like Verchiel is, and like the later on in the series, Verchiel is totally Vegeta. Verchiel is totally Vegeta, and Aaron is freaking Goku. That's what it is. And in this part, he went total Kaioken. I think that's what we're going. Either Super Saiyan or Kaioken. Something like that. I want to just say Super Saiyan for now. Like, because I was thinking Frieza, but then later on in the series, when we get to it, you're going to be like, yeah, that's Vegeta. Verchiel is totally Vegeta. Just is. And once Aaron became a Super Saiyan, he was able to gain knowledge on the powers, goals, and original purpose. Feel the wrath of freaking Vegeta. I mean Verchiel and his bolt of lightning. Or Vegeta and his Gallic gun. Or his big, wait a minute. What was the one I was thinking of? Oh, the Final Flash attack. There we go. And like the skeletal fingers of some elemental deity composed entirely of cracking blue energy. I was like thinking, is this the power of Zeus? Like, what the hell? It roughly tapped the top of Verchiel's head as if to show its displeasure. Yeah, the power of Zeus it was the wrath of Zeus. It was the wrath of Zeus attacking Vegeta. Yeah, that's just what happened. And then Verchiel exploded into flames, and his body no longer able to contain the raging power coursing through it. And like Icarus, who had flown too close to the sun, he fell from the sky. And then Camille says the Gregory is dying, and Verchiel's blade must have struck something vital. And I was like thinking, Krillin, quick, get the Sensumines! We need a Sensumine like now! And Zeke's final words, I want to say I'm sorry for everything. I want to tell you that I'm sorry for everything I've done. And then through Aaron's power, Zeke became Ezekiel, and the angel was able to go home. And then Aaron, in the language of messengers, you're forgiven, and the tattoos and wings receded. I thought that was so cool. That was so Goku-esque. Or Gohan-esque in the sense. I could see Gohan doing that kind of crap, too. And then Camille says this, and this is why Aaron's able to do this. You have the power to grant absolution, and who have fallen from the grace of God will be granted forgiveness in our presence as long as they have seen the error of their ways. Your people have many colorful names for where he has gone. Paradise, Elysium, Nirvana, the happy hunting ground. Heaven is but one of them. You are the bridge between the fallen and God, and the Almighty and his actions are lack thereof, are part of a much longer scheme. We may not understand it, but the Lord works in mysterious ways. The Father is aware of everything, no matter how harsh or random things may appear. He does have a plan. Sometimes the bad must precede the good. And then the next mission is basically Camille, Aaron, and Gabe and Leviathan are going to go find and rescue Stevie. So now we get to the epilogue. So Aaron is officially dropping out of school and he's leaving the city. And Camille had explained why the powers had taken his little brother. It had something to do with the handicapped, or as Camille calls them, the imperfect, having some kind of sensitivity to the angelic, making them perfect servants. And I thought that was so sweet that Vilma gave Aaron her phone number and email just in case he wanted to talk. And this is what how this book ends. So it ends with Virgil had been in perpetual agony since the lightning strike, and the entire surface of his body charred black. Karma's a bitch, Vegeta. I mean, Virgil. Proceed, he said with a wave of his blackened hand, his nerve endings vibrating in blinding pain with even the slightest movement. The healer knelt down before Virgil. He placed the satchel upon the ground, undid the tie, and rolled it open to expose the instruments contained within. His hands hovered over the wide variety of scalpels, blades, and saws, tools of healing used by his predecessors and hundreds of others before him. By touch, he used what was needed, a 12-inch blade, the beams of sunlight that streamed in through openings in the boarded-up windows. And that's how it ended. I love this book. This is what I want from my first book of Angel books. Like, I want more supernatural stuff. And this is what The Fallen gives you. And and this is going to happen with every book. You get more and more mythology with each and every one. It's not so much contemporary, and that's what I've had a problem with some of the series, is that the first book is too contemporary, and it's just so freaking annoying. And this series doesn't do that, and it makes me happy. It makes me so freaking happy. And I can't wait to get to the next one, which is going to be Leviathan. And that's going to be part of also the 27th B-Day extravaganza. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I want to know what you nerdigans thought of this book. What part of the mythology did you like in this book as well? What did you think of Virgil? Do you think Virgil's more like a Vegeta? Do you think he's more like a I want to say he's more like a Piccolo, but our next when we get a little further in, I'll tell you who's our Piccolo. I'm telling you, we're gonna be comparing a lot of the characters to DBZ characters. I'm just saying. For right now, we could say Camille is our Piccolo for now, but we'll see. Anyways, if you like what I'm doing and want to become a nerd again today, donate to my Patreon. The link is in the description box below. And if you want to see any more of the shenanigans that I cause on the internet, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is in the description box below as well. Also, Tom, I would love your feedback on how I did on this video. I hope I did you proud, and I would love it if you either left a comment or if you tweeted me. So, anyway, until next time, Nerdigans, I will see you in Leviathan. Bye!